GIMP, just like any other image editing application, has built-in brushing capabilities, and in this movie I'm going to be discussing the different brushes that we have available to us. So I'm going to first start off by creating a new document. I'm just going to choose 1024 by 768, and we'll hit OK. And that creates a brand new document for me. And you'll notice in the Tools panel, I actually have 3 different brushing type tools. I have a pencil tool, which, as you can see by the description, gives you a hard edge painting using a brush. Then you've got the paintbrush tool, which paints a smooth stroke using a brush. And then, of course, you've got the airbrush tool, which paints using a brush with variable pressures. And so those 3 are the basic brush tools we have at our disposal. We also have something called an ink tool, and we'll talk about that in its own specific movie a little bit later on. But for now, I'm just going to work with the brushes here for just a moment and show you exactly how they work. For the pencil tool, just click on that. You're going to get some brush options, and we'll discuss the brush options panel in depth in its own movie. But for now, just grab the pencil tool, select a color, let's say red, and hit OK, and then just come out into the document. And inside of the document, you just start drawing. And my brush is actually set really big at 400 pixels, so let's undo that, and let's shrink this back down. Maybe something like 2 pixels will be okay. There we go. And now drawing through, you can see exactly what I'm doing here. Command or Control Z undoes that, and you can just see here that it's really easy just to freeform draw anything you want inside of the window. Pretty simple. I would recommend actually not drawing with a mouse if you can. I would recommend going out and getting yourself some sort of drawing tablet. If you're going to be doing a lot of illustrations inside of GIMP and using the brush tools quite a bit, a drawing tablet is very much a necessity when it comes to that kind of stuff, because you can only get so much control from a mouse. When you get something like a drawing tablet, it's going to make it so much easier to deal with pressure and also tracing around objects and things like that, because it's more natural movement with a pencil type object than it is to have your hand on a mouse trying to draw things. Although you can get pretty good at drawing with a mouse, it's still not going to be as good as drawing with your hand on a pencil type set. So we also have a brush tool, which is available to us inside of GIMP. And the difference between the brush tool and the pencil tool is the fact that the brush tool has a differential in hardness. So you can actually have a soft edge brush versus a hard edge brush, where a pencil is always going to have that really sharp, hard edge. A brush can fade in and out. You can also simulate things like pin pressure with a brush as well. And so the brush tool, very much similar to the pencil tool, you just come in, you pick the brush, you pick a color, and then you come out into the document. And let's increase the size of the brush this time to something around maybe 100 pixels, somewhere thereabouts. And you just come out and draw. Now you'll notice when I do that it's very hard edge, looks very pixelated. That's because I'm using a hard edge brush. And so what I would want to do here is actually pick one of these that kind of looks faded over here in the brush panel. So I pick one of those, and now I come out and paint. You'll notice that it's a lot smoother, and it looks a lot better. And so you can draw pretty much the same way you can with the pencil tool, but just a little bit easier on the eyes, I think. It's also great for working on layer mask, gradually fading areas in and out on a layer mask. It's great for retouching things where you need to airbrush some things, so pretty neat. Let's undo those. And let's talk about the airbrush tool. The airbrush tool, depending on how hard or how long you press on an object, you can see that it just kind of grows, and then it can kind of fade out. So it can vary in terms of intensity of the brush. How long you linger on a spot really matters here. So the airbrush tool can also be a great retouching tool. It can be great for working on layer masks in different areas that you need to airbrush with. Again, though, I think that the airbrush tool works best if you're using some sort of pen and tablet type situation, because simply it just makes it for a more natural operation. Doing this with a mouse is just not a natural thing that we do. So you might want to check into that if you can. All in all, though, the brushes are fairly simplistic here inside of GIMP. It's the brush options and all of the different brushes that you have at your disposal that really make them powerful. Otherwise, it's just a basic pick and click kind of system. You pick the tool you want, and then you click to make it work. So pretty simple when it comes to using the brushes, but I just wanted to give you a basic introduction to these before we dive headfirst into all of the tool options to discuss what you can really do with them.